Hola clase, vamos a hablar de las metas de Unidad 5, Lección 2. So hopefully you've already reviewed your Unit 5 Lesson 1 goals and perhaps your goals from last year. We're going to look at our new goal page, which you should have made a copy of, and talk about what's expected of you this chapter. So, what should you be able to do after Unidad 5, Lección 2? Hablar. I can explain what has to be done and what I will do to clean a house or prepare for an event. Escuchar. I can listen and record a list of tasks and or items needed for an event. I can also listen and sequence when tasks or events need to or are going to take place. So if you can't tell, we're mainly going over chores and then things you might do to prepare for something like a party. Escribir. I can write a letter or a text inviting someone to a party for another person and also asking them to bring or do a few things to prepare. So you can not only ask them like, hey, do you want to come? You can say like, can you bring the potato chips? Bien? Leer. I can read and interpret a conversation in which people are negotiating who will do what chores before going somewhere. So for example, brother and sister arguing over who has to do what. Grammatica. I can identify indirect objects. I can recognize, replace, and rearrange sentences with both dop and idop. Yep, I know. You're excited to see more of those object pronouns. I told you more were coming. It's the last thing we do in this chapter, so you have a little bit to wait. I can conjugate verbs with their regular yos. I can I can use correct pronouns after prepositions. I can use basic verb constructions of tener que, that's one we've already learned, which is have to, ir a, which is going to, and the new one, acabar de, which is I just finished. Cultura, last thing, I can compare holiday and festival traditions in different countries, particularly identifying which holidays are important in Ecuador. I can explain traditional dress of indigenous people and how and when these are still used. And of course, as always, feel free to add some extra goals of your own. Let's move on to actually learning the vocabulary for this lesson.